Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Protocol Cheese episode. And this one is going to be a pretty positive one. So, if you're unaware of what happened in Halo Infinite today, there was a pretty big, I want to say it's the mid-season update, and a lot of things addressed, different bug fixes and such, different like cross-core armors, all cool stuff. But the big standout, I would say, is Firefight, which is what we're on right now. What you're seeing in the background, Firefight being added to the game, but what I was really excited for in this update is something tangential to Firefight being added to the game. Doesn't necessarily have anything to do with Firefight, but it's related to it. Is they've been working on a rework for the networking in the game, and for however long, I don't know exactly how long, but they've been working on it for who knows how long now, and apparently are ready to test it. And in this Firefight, or in the Firefight playlists that are in the game right now, it is using that model. So when I saw that, I immediately thought, like, okay, there should be vehicles. Let's go to Firefight with, well, of course, Armada's been helping me with these tests, so did it with him quick. And let's go into Firefight. Let's see if we can get a map with 2 gooses and test it out and see how it is. So we were very fortunate. This was literally the first game that we joined. We got on Behemoth, which does have 2 different mongoose spawns. And we got a few tests in, and the nice thing too is that Behemoth kind of has a natural like circle track around it, so we're able to easily test that as well. And I'm happy to say this, at least in Firefight, this new networking seems to work. It's not perfect, and it seems that like the classic Halo screen lag that we're used to, that we all know and love, not really, but that we're all used to at this point, the same screen lag. It seems that that's still a thing, but the whole like force push thing, if you remember that from Infinite. Way back when we were trying it, the whole force push thing, that doesn't seem to be a thing. My sensitivity, my control of the mongoose, it feels the same. Whether Armada was like close to me or not, it felt exactly the same, which was not the case. Before. So the whole force push thing seems to not be a thing. It does seem to have the screen lag, and there were a few moments where he was kind of glitching out on my screen, where he was kind of lagging. But to be fair, in the most recent MCC race that we did, the same thing happened. Funnily enough, he was like rubber banding on my screen in that race. So I would need to test this with some other people. I don't want to take that as like, oh, it's going to be like laggy visually. That's kind of, Armada's had some lag issues in the past like that, so it's kind of hard to say. But I'm just gonna replay the footage in the background for however long I need. As he goes off the map. But yeah, so that's how that all works. But the big thing, again, the big thing being the force push being gone, and just like the feel of it. Like it felt, and you can even see it if you raced Infinite when we first tried it, you could probably tell just watching the footage. But it is something that I'd encourage to try yourself. You could probably tell just watching it though how much better it looks when we were running side by side and close to each other. It looks so much better, and that's because it is a lot better. And we went to custom games, which does not have the new networking yet. And it immediately, we didn't even make it out of the pits before we gave up. It was immediately that much worse. So it's such a big difference. It feels like a different game. It feels like a new game when it comes to the vehicle physics and running next to each other. So yeah, that's basically like from my perspective, it went pretty well. From my perspective, if it functioned like this in custom games with multiple other people and not just one other person, if it functioned how it did in this Firefight match, then I would do stuff on it. I would make stuff again, and I'd try to do series and try to do racing on it. So there's hope. That's the takeaway from this quick Protocol Cheese episode. There's hope. Again, screen lag seems to be back, but the force push, all of that, the random like lag moments, all of that seems to not be a thing. The hard desync when the vehicles get close to each other seems to not be a thing, or seems to be drastically reduced in this model, and that's what we were looking for. So yeah, no adjustments to like the vehicle physics or anything, which is fine. I mean, personally, I wouldn't expect that. I was surprised when Halo 5 even got that. There's just such a priority list that Infinite had. Like it's way too low. That's just not happening. So didn't really expect that. That would have been nice too, but just didn't really expect it. The bare minimum is what I wanted, and the bare minimum is what seems to have been delivered in this update. So that's the big takeaway. Okay, so when can we, when can you expect us to look at Infinite again? When can you expect racing on Infinite again? I would say not like the season. I've already had plans for next year. So the first season that we do, we'll probably do some Infinite testing, I'm sure, if they do expand this networking model across the rest of the game. But that's kind of what it depends on. Like, I might start forging stuff again. I might start messing with stuff again. But we don't know when they're going to expand this to the rest of the game. I would say at the earliest, my hope would be the next season drop. That would be my, like, at the earliest guess, which I think would be February-ish would be the timeline on that. So that would be the earliest that I would expect. So yeah, basically, the next season that we're doing is not going to be Infinite. Even if this stuff does come to the game, even if the next season will not, I'm just going to stick with the idea I've got, which we'll see some info on soon. But yeah, I'm just going to stick with that. But after that, like potentially, like summer months and like second half of next year, I know that's still a while away. We could actually get back on the game and test some stuff, and I would like to if it actually works. So we'll see, and we'll keep you guys updated on that. That being said, if it does come in that February update, I'm sure we'll do some test nights, and I'm sure we'll do some stuff like that, maybe even some side stuff just to test things. So I would fully expect that. Yeah, so this is going to be, again, I always go on too long with these, so I'm going to cut off the video there. If there's any other, I think I addressed the main things and, brought the good news. So if there's any questions, if anybody hasn't like tested it themselves and they want, any of that answered, any questions they might have, whatever, comments are always open. But yeah, so actually a pretty sweet day today. Pretty huge for us. So I'm glad to see that it actually works. I was worried that this would be a disappointment and that it would feel too similar, but I'm really happy to say that that's not the case. This, at the very least, is not what we had before and feels much better. So very happy about that. Looking forward to the future. Actually, seems like there is one on this game again. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And, hope this was some positive news to put into your sub box on YouTube. So happy about that. And see you for the next race, I suppose, will be the next thing I post on here. So for round number 14 at Gateway, see you guys there.